Oh, hey, look. I just posted a comment under one of Donald Trump's comments because that's a way to get thousands of retweets and, upvotes and whatnot. And that picture showed Donald Trump saying drugs should be legalized, and it posted the Sarasota Tribune paper from 1990 where he said that drugs should be legalized. And I've noticed that anti-drug war comments tend to get taken down on Twitter, and anti-drug war accounts get silenced on Twitter. Milo, Roger Stone, Owen Benjamin, Alex Jones, and Martin Shkreli and Gavin McInnes were all outspoken opponents of the drug war and drug prohibition. So Twitter is protecting a money supply from the government is what they're doing. They're not silencing conservatives. Conservatism doesn't conserve anything. There's nothing to conserve in this country. The Bill of Rights is gone. What are you going to conserve? Conservatism doesn't even exist. Conservatism is a mental disorder like liberalism, what is called liberalism today. Those are just clusterings around certain psychological characteristics. Conservatives like order. They're against disorder, what they see as disorder or uncleanliness. They are united by a disgust response. They're disgusted by immigrants. They're disgusted by things that they see as unclean. They view brown people as being unclean. And the socialists who call themselves liberals are very similar. They are so similar that they've allowed a drug prohibition policy to persist since 1914 when the openly racist Harrison Narcotics Act was passed. The Harrison Narcotics Act said that the primary reason for the prohibition of cocaine is its effect on black people. They said they actually had yellow journalism appearing in newspapers saying that cocainized Negroes would rape white women if cocaine wasn't banned. And that was the excuse by which the Harrison Narcotics Act was passed. And then later on, when marijuana prohibition was instituted, it was instituted via a back door, almost like a licensing workaround. The same guy who had advocated for the ban of, cocaine and heroin in 1914 said, that's Harry J. Anslinger. He said that the primary reason for banning marijuana is its effect on the degenerate races. So why is Twitter protecting the United States' most long-standing racist policy? I suspect that it's because they're in bed with the police state. They're in bed with the current status quo government, and that's the safest bet to play. That's a whole lot safer than allowing effective, influential Trump influencers to work towards repealing and abolishing drug prohibition. And by abolishing drug prohibition, I mean legalizing all drugs. That's the only way to end drug prohibition. So they don't want that to happen. They don't want the gravy train for the police to come to a screeching halt. And by gravy train, what is this? Is this some kind of really productive thing for the police? Well, no, theft is not productive. Robbing people is not productive per se. It's transferring wealth. It's not creating wealth. And the police now steal more money than all private criminals put together. That's been the case since 2014. So all of these people who are saying that, Trump's racist and all these people trying to get people deplatformed for racism, they're the most racist people on Twitter. They're the ones who are protecting the longest standing anti-black policies on Twitter. And look, I can't even post a photograph now. I can't post a photograph here that I want to post because it would show up in the timeline because I'm responding to some liberal critic of Trump's who reposted the scene from Team America with the guy vomiting. So my post, if I were to be able to post the photograph that I wanted to post, it would show up because I'm responding to a liberal tweet. Now, keep in mind, this liberal tweet, this doesn't have any policy prescription. It's just, oh, I hate Trump. I hate Trump. And you can say, I hate Trump, and you can say, I hate racism, but you can't do anything to actually fight racism. You can't do anything to actually fight Trump and his ignorant-ass drug war. No, that's illegal. Being effective is what's illegal. So, you know, might as well show you the tweet itself that I just posted here. And let's see, you got John McAfee there. Where are my tweets? There we go. Let me see if I can show you this here. Oh, it's going to show up in replies here. Yeah. Let me show you that Sarasota Tribune article that I wanted to show up in Trump's feed, where it could be effective. Okay, Donald Trump legalized drugs. Billionaire New York developer Donald Trump said the nation's drug enforcement effort is a joke and repeated his call for the legalization of drugs Friday during a luncheon held by the Miami Herald. We're losing badly the war on drugs, Trump said. You have to legalize drugs to win that war. You have to take the profit away from these drug czars. Drug czars. That's interesting. Take the profit away from the drug czars. So that kind of drug czar was a office created by the ONDCP, or it's the head of the ONDCP. That office was called the Drug Czar, the Office of the Drug Czar. Tsar was a totalitarian leader in Russia before the communists took over. So it's kind of interesting that you know, we have a title of Tsar, you know, totalitarian leader. It's interesting that that just kind of stuck. So he's actually talking about taking the profit away from the offices of government that use prohibition to rob the American public blind by denying that property rights even exist. So he was correct at this point in time. He says, you know, tax revenue from legalized drug trade could be spent to educate the public on the dangers of drugs, Trump said during a speech at the newspaper's Company of the Year Awards luncheon. And that is from April 14th, 1990, Sarasota Herald Tribune. Not allowed to say that. That's an actual solution that would actually prevent racist law enforcement in this country.